Welcome back. It's the third and final race of the weekend for the A group of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. For the very last time racing at Rockingham Motor Speedway. We are going to miss it, but it's going to give us an absolutely fantastic climax to the weekend in Group A. It's Sam Smith and John Langridge who start from the front row. Will Blackwell-Chambers and Jason Greatrex are on the second row from Ollie Allwood and Mike Comber. Martin Tolley and Paul Bateman are on row 4. And then it's Martin Canning and Stephen Foden rounding out the top 10. Then comes Jack Brewer alongside Brian Trott, Adam Craig and Matt Pollard, and then Callum Greatrex and Rafael Dragic. Then it is Jack Moody and Marcus Bailey on row 9 from John Pethick and Lewis Cannon, followed by Will Hayden and Kevin Brent. 20 minutes on the clock, the very last 20 minutes that the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship A Group will ever race on the Rockingham Motor Speedway. It's a sad occasion in one sense, but we are going to give it the last beans we're ever going to show it in the final race of the weekend. Here we go! And it's a cracking start off the line from Sam Smith. No problem at all for Will Blackwell-Chambers to get up alongside John Langridge and already saunter through into P2. We're on board with Langridge and it's 3 wide behind Greatrex. Robinson tussling with Comber and gets squeezed in the middle as Greatrex holds the line. Robinson's on the inside line and Bateman trying to come around the outside as well. Here they come, the cavalry charging up to the first hairpin into Dean for the first time. And it's Smith, Blackwell-Chambers and Langridge. The field dices its way through the hairpin. No major difficulties. The field saws its way through. Jostling for position. Whoa! Callum Greatrex very nearly got a face full of Martin Canning there. He now comes deep into the braking zone, trying to come right round the outside. Pick up a move or two if he can. Hasn't quite worked as there's a lot of jostling for position. Brian Trott's trying to hold on to his position as they come through as well. Battling away there with Matt Pollard, I think that was, as up the inside, Jason Greatrex trying to squeeze out Martin Tolley. Not a lot of room to negotiate through Piff Paff, but they just about get away with that one. As Martin Craig tries to banzai up the inside of Adam Craig. And there's not a lot of room, so Craig has to back out of the manoeuvre eventually. But hangs on in front of Canning. He was, obviously Adam Craig was trying to make his own move on Brian Trott and had to bail. So Canning is now going to get his own opportunity. That is the 93 of Jack Brewer, who is past Rafael Dragic, who's had yet another good start. Pollard's got Cannon with him, and that's one of the Greatrexes running off the circuit. I think that's Callum. So I think Callum has just run onto the grass on the exit of Gracelands. So he goes a bit dusty on the first lap. But otherwise, everybody is through neat and tidy. Jason Greatrex is still there, jostling away with, I think that's a very fast starting Martin Tolley. Lewis Cannon is in the middle of that spray as well, trying to get himself up the inside of Rafael Dragic. But Pollard is on the inside of him. I'm not sure he managed to get the move done there. No, he didn't, so he's had to back out. And I think Stephen Foden has managed to knock up the inside as well. So a good bit of jostling. We're on board with Callum Greatrex. Down the main straight, up towards turn 1. We are chasing Jack Brewer. So Callum Greatrex in the red line machine. Going through first corner. Flirting with the white line on the inside line there, as you have to do. Sam Smith protecting the inside line into Dean Hairpin. Blackwell-Chambers unable to get through. And John Langridge is there with him again. It's Groundhog Day this weekend. Third race in a row that these three have been the ones to battle for the victory. Allwood and Comber are desperately trying to stay with them this time. Jason Greatrex has had to fall in behind Paul Bateman and Martin Tolley. Then it's Brian Trott, Canning, Craig, Brewer, Callum Greatrex, Steve Foden, and then it is Dragic. And we've got this great battle further back. This is Hayden, Pethick. 544 is Jack Moody. So some brilliant battling towards the tail end. Charlie and Kevin Brent is right at the back, just watching for an opportune moment. So there is Allwood, still tussling away with Comber. They come off of Corby, up the steel straight, on the run to the score straight yet again. That is one of the Greatrex brothers finding a dusty part of the circuit. That bit wasn't actually racetrack, that was grass. And here is the leader, Sam Smith, still hanging on in front of Will Blackwell-Chambers. You've got to be so careful when you get to the braking zone for Tarzan. You need to let the car just do its thing, roll in, back on the power, bleed it in gently, and up the inside, Comber gets the move there on Ollie Allwood, but the car drifts out wide. Allwood's going to get a run back on the undercut. So as soon as the move is made, Allwood is going to get him straight back again into the braking zone for the Brooks chicane. No problems at all. It is still Sam Smith in front of Will Blackwell-Chambers. Then John Langridge in P3. They come off the turn, back on the power, and hugging the apex of the wall down the main straight once again. Go over the line, and it's going to be very close. Smith, Blackwell-Chambers, Langridge. That's how close it is. Allwood and Comber. Sixth is Bateman, and it is Tolley. Some great battles in the midfield here. That is Foden trying to get away from Callum Greatrex. Dragic is in the mix there in front of Matt Pollard. Down to the braking zone again. Smith is hanging on in there. Some great banter between these two afterwards. Sam Smith took the win in race 2 and then said, well, Will Blackwell-Chambers will be whining like a baby after that one. Interesting words there. So the fight really is on for the last 4 races of the season. John Langridge has got the best seat in the house. He's just watching these two battle. He's like, okay, you guys battle for the title, that's fine. Take each other off if you don't mind. Or at least take each other wide, and I'll take the victory. That'll do me nicely. We could end up with 3 completely different race winners here. Blackwell-Chambers, winner of race 1. Sam Smith, winner of race 2. Is it going to be Langridge, winner of race 3? We'll find out. But it is going to be very tight as they run up towards Gracelands once again. Off the steel straight. Into the left-hander. Rolling the car off nicely there. Keep the power, keep the power. Stay patient on the exit. Try not to overrun the curbs. That's nicely done from all 3. Blackwell-Chambers, he's going to dive for the inside of the hairpin. He's going to try the same move, I think, that Sam Smith tried on him. It wasn't quite as leery, but he's going to get the car stopped in the middle of the apex. Did you see that? He just backed out of the throttle, and Sam Smith was never going to get an undercut there. But Langridge now has a run on Sam Smith. Into the braking zone for the Brook chicane. No chance. Smith hangs on to second. Good duelling between the two championship rivals. They are teammates, but they are great opposition as well. Out of the final turn, and on the main straight once more. John Langridge chasing down Sam Smith, hoping for an opportunity of his own. He's going to work with his man in front to get down some of the gap. Meanwhile, Brian Trott is now in the slipstream of Paul Bateman as they try and get after Jason Greytracks and get away from Martin Canning. Through turn 1. Up towards the braking zone for Dean Hairpin again. Brilliant to watch these cars, the Mazda MX-5s. Never designed for racing, of course, but boy, what a racing car they make. Bit of a puff of smoke from Paul Bateman as he locks up. Brian Trott goes very deep in as a result. Now both drivers getting away from the scene of the incident there. No problem at all, and certainly no major disaster. So Will Blackwell-Chambers hanging on to the lead for the moment. Sam Smith still there in P2. John Langridge all over the back of him, looking for a way to come by into 3rd position. Well, he's in 3rd position now, I should say, trying to find a way past these two. Up and over the curbs at Piff Path. Is there a chance again for a little bit of a scrap between these 3 as Sam Smith again looks for a move on Will Blackwell-Chambers. They go onto the steel straight once more. John Langridge is just watching every moment. Into the run once again for Gracelands. Blackwell-Chambers tight through the left-hander. Got to be patient, got to build up the speed. Langridge has got a good run this time, a really good run. He may get an opportunity on Sam Smith. Into the braking zone. For so much of this season, it has been these two, Blackwell-Chambers and Sam Smith, with the 3rd man in the equation, John Langridge, always having a sniff of an opportunity of his own as he tries to get himself on the top step of the podium more often than not. Down to the braking zone again for Brook. No major dive yet. Far too early in the race to be taking big gambles. Just got to let these laps and these minutes count down. Got to keep pushing, got to stay hungry, got to stay focused. Here's John Langridge on board again, off the final turn. In the slipstream, down the main straight. Very close to the barriers on the right-hand side, you can see. Then you fly through the left-hander turn 1. I can't actually let it sink in yet that we're never going to be racing here again after this weekend. It's such a shame. Here comes Sam Smith making his bid. Blackwell-Chambers protects the inside line. Langridge has got the draft. He's going to go with him and he's going to try and come around the outside of both of them. Blackwell-Chambers protecting the inside line like crazy. An opportunity on the way out of the turn for Smith, but Blackwell-Chambers has protected and guarded that inside line beautifully. Further back, we've got Bateman still hanging on from Brian Trott. Canning is next in. Then it's Brewer. Then it's Steve Foden in front of Adam Craig. And all of these guys are trying to chase down Jason Greytracks in the 33, who's a little up the road from these guys. A few car lengths further up. Settling into a bit of a rhythm, but that rhythm won't remain because these guys always want to push. They want to find that little bit of extra speed, and they'll want to roll off the power, get back onto the pace. This is a really good run. In through Corby, double apex left-hander. Back onto the steel straight once again. Plenty of speed, plenty of pace, plenty of rhythm. No major problems at the moment in the field as Brian Trott is doing everything he can to get back on the terms of Paul Bateman. And, back to the front. That's why Sam Smith dieting up the inside of Will Blackwell-Chambers. Blackwell-Chambers moves to cover John Langridge and in the process gets back alongside Sam Smith. Now they're racing each other in a drag race down the school straight. But it is Sam Smith who's got the position. He's held on this time in front of Blackwell-Chambers. Nicely done. So Sam Smith is now in the lead of the race here at Rockingham. Out of the final turn. Blackwell Chambers is going to get back on terms with him once again, and John Langridge is just sitting there watching the show unfold. Blackwell Chambers with a great run off the final turn, and is he going to dive for the inside straight away? No, he's going to work with his teammate and edge away for the moment. Nothing in it between the two of them as they go through turn 1, trying to break the toe of John Langridge. So Blackwell Chambers, will he make the dive for the inside line? He's going to back out of the move, in fact. He's just going to ease up. I think what he wants to do ultimately is work with Sam Smith to drop John Langridge, and then the two of them can fight for the victory. That's what he's after at the moment. And from his point of view, running in second place will be easier on the tyres, easier on the brakes, easier on the fuel as well, because you cut through the air more efficiently following in the draft of somebody else than cutting through the air yourself. So this is not a bad position for Will Blackwell Chambers to be in either, and this is going to be great payback for race 2, not just for what happened on the track, but for what happened on the podium afterwards. I don't think anybody's going to get away with calling Will Blackwell Chambers a whinger like a baby without taking some serious punishment for it later. So Will Blackwell Chambers right in behind Sam Smith. Sam knows what Will is made of. He knows that he is going to be a major opposition in this championship fight, and here in this race he will want to beat him fair and square. Down to the braking zone for Tarzan. Again, he brakes earlier. He does not want to make the overtaking move yet, although Sam Smith does drip out wide. He drifts wide through Tarzan. That could have been the moment there for Blackwell Chambers. But this is actually less efficient because this is going to back them into John Langridge once again. And the number 5, John Langridge, is right there behind them. Hello, boys. Remember me? I want the win, don't you know? Through Brook. Into the final corner. And I think Blackwell Chambers is going to have to switch to plan B now. John Langridge is chasing and catching them both. And don't forget, he set the fastest lap in both of the previous races. So, it's plan B. Attack, attack, attack as they go over the line. Allwood with Comer behind him, 4th and 5th. Then it is Greatrex. Then it is Bateman in front of Canning and Trott now. Brewer's got Steve Foden closing him up. Goodness me, Callum Greatrex flirting with the wall on the way out of the final turn as he goes side by side with Martin Tolley. Then it is Craig side by side with Pollard. This is an interesting quartet. Almost synchronised. Fast and the Furious couldn't choreograph that any better. They go through turn 1. Still together. You almost want to put classical music to that picture, don't you? It's very, very civilised. Into the braking zone for Dean, it suddenly becomes less civilised as Callum Greatrex has to back out of the move. Matt Pollard tucks in behind. That was beautiful for a moment. Lovely symmetry from the Mazda MX-5s. Not seen a mode like that for a while. But Tolley has the lead on the road in this little battle from Callum Greatrex, Matt Pollard, and then in behind, of course, Adam Craig, as they continue to charge their way around the circuit. But Craig is trying to get himself at the front end of this quartet, and it's going to be tricky, to be fair. There's not an opportunity really opening itself up naturally. Pollard is going to try and get his move on the inside of Callum Greatrex, who runs out wide at Corby, and that's enough to get through. So no problem at all there for Pollard. Next target is going to be Martin Tolley at the front end of the queue. So they head up towards Greystands once again. Let's see if there's going to be another attack from Pollard. They come up towards Tarzan. They roll off Greystands. It's very easy to lose the car there, so they've been very well planted all through the weekend. Craig has a bit of a lunge on the inside of Greatrex. That's not going to happen on a month of Sundays. So through Tarzan Hairpin and onto the school straight once again. Is this going to be a run from Pollard? Well, he's a bit too far back at the moment. It's more likely that Craig will get a lunge into the Brook chicane on Callum Greatrex. Back to the front, and these three still absolutely locked together. And this time, it's Langridge in second place, so he has split the two of them. But he's getting support from Blackwell Chambers. Blackwell Chambers is guiding him past Sam Smith. Smith has gone to the inside line, so Langridge is going to come. No, he has held it to the inside line. Thanks, Will. I'm in the lead. Brilliant through Dean Hairpin. So Smith was to the outside line. Blackwell Chambers basically nudged John Langridge into the lead of the race and said, right, let's both get him. And that's exactly what's happened. So Blackwell Chambers is back through on Sam Smith. Well, Sam Smith's not going to be happy about that. He's going to get up the inside of Blackwell Chambers. There's not a lot of room through Chapman. They both drift a little wide. Blackwell Chambers is not on the cleaner line as they come up to Piff Paff. The back end's going to step out. The car's rhythm is a little bit disrupted. He's now going to have to stop the car through Corby. But Sam Smith's got a run on him, and that's enough for John Langridge to get away. Maybe we are going to get three different winners, because we are running shorter and shorter on time as Allwood runs off the course there on the exit of the second apex at Corby. They've gone down the steel straight through Greystands. And Sam Smith is looking more likely to get Will Blackwell Chambers. He tightens up through the apex. Blackwell Chambers is going to have to hang on to that inside line again. Has Sam Smith got that killer dive on him once again in the final lap? He's going to need to position the car well to do it. But with just 3.5 races, well, less than 3.5 races left to go in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship for 2018, these guys are definitely going to be at their most ruthless when it comes to winning the championship. So they come out of the final turn, and this is going to get very spicy, isn't it? Here we go again. Will Blackwell Chambers now is on the back of John Langridge. It's the other way round. So he is dropping Sam Smith. There is Allwood still in front of Mike Comber. I'm trying to do the math here and figure out just what the championship situation is going to be if it stays like this. Blackwell Chambers should still lead the championship. I don't see that changing. It's not going to be much of a change anyway, but it will still be very, very interesting to see how it all unfolds. As again, Blackwell Chambers is going to try his best to come back into position. Swarms around, not going to get the move there. Allwood is once again hanging fast in front of Mike Comber. And Jason Greatrex is not quite on the same wavelength as them at the moment. There is not a lot to choose between them though, to be fair. So they roll off of Chapman Curve. Here are the leaders. Look, absolutely bolted together, and this could be a move from Will Blackwell Chambers. He thinks better of it. This is an absolute knife edge of a battle now. Now, if I'm right, there is not going to be an awful lot left of these guys in terms of the battle, as Blackwell Chambers is going to try again to get on terms with John Langridge. Now, I think Blackwell Chambers is only going to be about 4 points ahead of Sam Smith if it stays like this, but he is going to try and gain that extra 2 points. That's on adjusted scores, by the way. If it finishes like this, Blackwell Chambers would be on 1762, I think, on dropped scores, and that would put him just 4 ahead of Sam Smith, which is about where they started the weekend, actually. Not a massive difference between them. So it's going to be pretty much stalemate if it stays the way it is. So let's see how it is going to evolve. Here they come again. Blackwell Chambers. Oh, all sorts of tussles as John Langridge has got himself a nice lead now. Will Blackwell Chambers could really use some help. Just as well the man behind him is not only his championship rival who also wants to win the race, but he's also his teammate. Here they go through turn 1. Working together. Look how quickly they're catching Langridge. Faster and faster and faster. John, you've left the door open, mate. Don't let them in the house. And that's exactly what Will Blackwell Chambers is going for on the inside at Dean. Oh, John. Door wide open, mate. You shall not pass. Oh, you did. Absolutely brilliant from Will Blackwell Chambers, but John Langridge, I don't think, realised just how quickly the two of them were catching him. And Blackwell Chambers is through. Now, if it stays like this, it's going to be, well, from the entirety of the weekend, it's going to be a very interesting battle, but you're going to see John Langridge will have scored, well, if he stays as it is, he's going to get the points for fastest lap, because yet again, John Langridge is the fastest lap of the race so far, and he's going to make that a hat-trick. He really does have the one-lap pace here at Rockingham. Whoops, one wheel on the dust. But in terms of the points scored, Blackwell Chambers and John Langridge would have scored the same, 100 points if it stays as it is. Sam Smith would have scored 96. That's a 4-point difference. And that means that in terms of the adjusted total, that's including dropped scores, Blackwell Chambers' title advantage over Sam Smith is going to be a mere 6 points going into the season finale. I can't wait for the last round of the championship at Donington Park. It is going to be absolutely sensational for the Mazda MX-5 Championship. And of course, they will end their battle a week after the title fight concludes in the Mazda MX-5 Super Cup. So Donington is going to get back-to-back weekends of Mazda MX-5 Championship racing glory. So here they come out of the final turn. And I think this is the last chance saloon now for John Langridge. Sam Smith, I think, has got to concede that third position is most likely to be his. John Langridge hasn't given up the ghost on victory. Blackwell Chambers, 2 wheels over the white line as he tries to defend the momentum. He's pushing very hard. John Langridge is having another go, swarming about a little bit. He goes right to the right-hand side of the circuit in the hope to switch right back across on Blackwell Chambers. They give each other room, but John Langridge wants this victory and he's determined to take it from Blackwell Chambers. But Will has got to stay hungry and he's got to stay focused. Even if it costs him a win, he'll still have the lead of the championship over Sam Smith, but conceding defeat is not Will Blackwell Chambers' way. They go through Chapman Curve, up towards Piff Paff. Hang on in there, boys. Left, right, up and over the curbs, into the inside line. John Langridge, the car getting leery under brakes. I thought he was going to go for it into Kirby then. I think he thought he was going for it into Kirby. Look, here we go again. Now he's going to go for the other side, and John Langridge is going to get some support from Sam Smith, but into Gracelands, this may not be the best position to go for the move. He's going to come the long way round. Is there enough space? Is there enough room? Smith gives him a little nudge. Down to the braking zone for Tarzan. Will he get the move on the inside? No, Blackwell Chambers is too far in front. And Langridge is going to have to settle for second unless he can pull off the mother of all overtakes under brakes for the Brook chicane. It's the closest fight to the victory so far, but I think, crucially, it is going to be 2 out of 3 for Blackwell Chambers. And heading into the title showdown at Donington Park, he will have a 6-point lead on dropped scores over his main rival for the championship, Sam Smith. What a showdown it's going to be at Donington Park. But the last ever Mazda MX-5 Championship race at Rockingham has been a beauty. And nearly to the line it will be side by side. But Blackwell Chambers just hangs on for the win. Langridge is second. Third is going to be Sam Smith. And Allwood hangs on in front of Mike Comber for 4th and 5th position. Jason Greatrex is 6th over the line in front of Bateman, Canning, Foden and Brewer, with Brian Trott finishing just outside the top 10. Well, it's an emotional one. Will Blackwell Chambers will be forever remembered as the last ever race winner at Rockingham in the Mazda MX-5 Championship. Brilliant job ahead of Langridge and Smith from Allwood, Coomber and co. Langridge, though, 3 fastest laps in a row. A really impressive performance. Brian Trott 11th outside the top 10 from Pollard, Tolley, Craig, Bailey, Cannon, Pethick, Brent, Greatrex and Moody, and Hayden and Drajach. Although they were down at the back, all drivers managing to finish the race. Fantastic action here at Rockingham. Championship-wise, there's the confirmation. Just 6 points in it between Blackwell Chambers and Sam Smith. Brian Trott is only 2 ahead of John Langridge as well. And there's 20 points between Allwood and Coomber in the top 6 fight.
Will, back in first place. You must be thrilled for the championship.
No, it's brilliant. We've admittedly, even though we've had 2 firsts and a third, we've only actually pulled out 2 points this weekend. So it's 6 points going into the last round. It's incredibly close, and I can't wait. And especially when it's with your teammate, one of your good mates, it makes it a lot of fun.
Is there a little bit of tension though between you guys?
Well, we both want to win, and both of us don't really want to come second. So there's definitely some tension going into it. But no, I think we're good mates. I hope we'll keep it clean. I think we will. I think it's going to be a great last round.
Brilliant. So speaking of Donington, is there anything you can do to the car to try and get those extra little seconds?
Pray that it rains, because I love the wet. But if it doesn't rain, the car will still be good. I've got good pace around Donington. Can get a little scary when all the new people come in, but we'll see how it goes.
Brilliant. Right, well, we'll look forward to it.
Cheers.
John, that was an amazing race to watch. Talk us through it.
I can't really remember all of it. It was a bit all go. We did the normal sort of thing in Mazdas of trying to break away from the pack behind, because otherwise you get a bit caught up. So once it was the 3 of us, Will kicked it off pretty early on, about 5 minutes in, and after that it was just gloves off the whole way.
Well, you did have him at one point, so what happened?
It's a really big toe, as I said earlier. It's a really big toe around here, and I came onto the main straight and thought, I've got a really good gap, and so didn't defend massively into the Dean hairpin, and him and Sam worked together and caught me out.
So obviously going into Donington, you've got a bit of a lead now in the championship points, so do you think you're kind of getting there a little bit?
We've been catching up well on Ollie and Brian this weekend. I don't know how the drop scores will come into play, because Brian's had a really strong year, but it's all an Inter-AEB motorsport sort of battle there, but I can't complain. My car's been mega. Another 3 podiums is over the moon, really.
Brilliant. Well, we couldn't be happy for you. Now go and enjoy second place.
Thanks. See you later.
Sam, third place. The battle's really starting to heat up between you and Will.
Yeah, I'm happy to stay within 10 points of Will, in all honesty. This is notoriously a really, really good circuit for him, and he was 4 points ahead coming here. I've done my very best, and I'm still within 6 points, so it's all to play for at the last race, definitely.
So any tricks up the sleeve?
Not really, no. I think I'm more confident at Donington than I am here. This is notoriously quite a weak circuit for me, so but a great race. That's the best I've felt and the best I've driven, but it's my worst result. That's how tight it is at the front.
Oh, well, fantastic, Sam. Well, congratulations, and we'll let you go and enjoy this.
Brilliant, thank you. Cheers.